For today's video, this is a quick tip on the Lightroom Mobile. And if you are new to photo editing, this is probably something that you might learn. If you've never edited a photo before, I'm going to teach you today how I edit my photos and the steps that I do in order to get the right exposure and the color that I want. So basically, to summarize it, is that you will, every time you want to get once you get your photo that you want to edit, you're going to start with your lighting, you're going to start with your color, and then you're going to start with your effect. Sometimes when we see a lot of options, we get confused on where to start, and this is I'm going to teach you today, is that you start with your lighting, you get your proper exposure, and then you move on to your colors, and then you go in your effect. And so I'm going to edit a photo right now and showing those methods, and hopefully you can learn something from this and help you edit your photos better. So let's go. Alright, so like I said, we're going to start with lighting and then colors and then effects. So I picked this photo to edit, and I take a lot of landscape photos, and this is the one that I took from Banff, Alberta, Canada. And yeah, we're going to start with our lighting. So as we look at our options, we are going to see that those lighting and colors and effect are actually in order from top down. But the first thing I like to do is press that auto button to see what Lightroom thinks that it should be for exposure. And so from there, that's when I started to adjust. I go from exposure, I play around with the highlights, especially with the shadows. Especially in this photo that it's winter, it's predominantly white, so I try to lower those whites, and then I play around with the S curves. I usually try to do a normal S curve like this one, but sometimes for this example I might just bring the shadows all the way down and play with the blacks, and then just leave the highlights to create that dark and moody feel. If you check out my Instagram, you see a lot of photos like this. And yeah, if you're not satisfied, just keep adjusting your exposures, keep adjusting your highlights and shadows, whatever that fits best for your style. And then we're going to move on to our colors. And first thing I like to do is start with our temperature, and then the vibrance and the saturation. Again, it's really depends on your kind of style. I like the dark, desaturated pictures where it has a little bit of a splash in color, and usually it's in a warm feel. So I usually try to bring down the saturation for the greens, aqua, and the blue, and try to bring up the yellows, the orange, and the reds. You can also give this a step up for the colors by using the color grading tool, playing around with the highlights and the shadows. Like I said, usually try to bring it up to the warm side or to the cooler side, and I tend to desaturate it and make it dark and moody. And like I said, if you're not satisfied, just keep adjusting it. You're gonna find it that once you adjust one side, another side is affected, and so just keep adjusting it. And as we move on to our effects, this is where we get to see the textures, clarity, and dehaze. For the type of photos that I like to do, there's a lot of dehaze and less clarity. It just gives it that sharpness. At the same time, it gives that soft touch for that photo. And so these are the before and after. And again, if you're not satisfied, keep adjusting it, and until you find that right balance and right photo for your taste. I guess I forgot to make an outro video for this, but basically that's it. It's very easy to edit photos using Lightroom if you use the methods of lighting, color, and effects. And so if you found any value in this video, if I helped you in some sort of way, please consider to like this video and subscribe. And if you stick around, I'll show you where to get the best coffee here in Edmonton. So stick around, subscribe, and see you in the next video.